What up, everybody? Welcome in. Nabil, what's up? Paul, welcome. Matt, welcome back. Soli, Delgado, hello, hello. We got futures just opened up. Slight gap up here. We'll see where this goes throughout the stream. I'm just giving it a few more moments to let more people join in before we get started. In this live stream, I'm going to be breaking down my top stock picks for tomorrow primarily, and just a few trade ideas for the rest of this week. With it being kind of towards the end of the holiday season, it's difficult to choose and pick which stocks will be on the watch list for the rest of the week because we don't know what the market sentiment is going to be like, and we don't know where the money's going to be flowing. So something like that is easier to gauge after Monday or Tuesday. But we for sure will be reviewing the top stock picks for tomorrow, and then I will be taking charting requests towards the end of this stream. Off the rip, what's up? Telks, hello. Arturo, welcome in. Yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Everything expressed in this stream is just my opinion. Number one on the watch list for tomorrow will be RBLX. If you're in the Discord server, you kind of already know what we're looking at here. But we're going to break it down and review it one more time. So this gray shaded box, that is a gap on the daily chart time frame, right? I will always start my analysis on the daily chart. So this is a gap up from the earnings report, and it's a pretty large gap from $80 to $90, actually 80 to 92.5 or so. So one important thing about gaps is that the top side of the gap as well as the bottom side of the gap act as hidden levels of support and or resistance. So you see this level at around 92.5 has been tested twice as a support there, 3 times as a support here, and then once more over here. And this is kind of starting to shape up what is known as a double bottom pattern. So you have 2 bottoms, bottom 1, bottom 2, and the expected move from here would look something like this if the gap area continues to hold as a support. So if I zoom out, you can see that a little more clearly there. So for this pattern to be true and to be confirmed, we're going to need a break of the neckline, which is going to be this level here at $110, right? So for the double bottom pattern to be confirmed, we would need a break of the neckline at 110. But we don't have to wait on that to happen for us to take a trade on RBLX. It's already confirmed the bounce off of this support point at 92.5 for us, right? So we got the bounce here. We got that hammer candle formed, we got a bullish engulfing candlestick, and then we got the follow-up. I'll delete these lines so it's a little more clear. We got the follow-up from the bullish engulfing candlestick at the end of the week. So all that we're looking for from here is a continuation from where the stock is currently at. So that would mean a break over $105, putting our resistance at around 107.5 and then at 110. So there's plenty of profit margin from where the stock is currently trading at up to 107.5, that's about 2.4% or so, and then up to 110, about 4.8%. So a break of 105 is not only a continuation from the double bottom bounce, but also a break of this downward trend line here, which means that we could be seeing an overall reversal on this entire trend for RBLX if we get the break of 105. So it's a pretty important level to keep an eye on. I think true confirmation will be over 110, but there's certainly plenty of profit margin between 105 and 110 for us to take a trade on. All right, so number one on the watch list for tomorrow will be RBLX, and it will be a long idea over $105. If you're just joining into the stream, welcome in. I'm talking about my top stock picks for tomorrow. I'll be taking charting requests at the end of this stream. Number 2 on the watch list for tomorrow will be Ford F. I've actually analyzed this multiple times, and that analysis still holds true. Not much has changed here. So overall support is going to be at $19. Overall resistance is going to be up here at $21, and this gives us a range between 19 and 21 that's been forming over the period of almost 2 months here, right at about 2 months, which is massive, right? So for a stock that consolidates this long, the breakouts are usually a lot stronger than something that consolidates for a lesser period of time. So the longer that a stock trades within a pattern, or the longer that a stock trades within a range, the bigger the breakout or breakdown will be, depending on where the momentum's at. So since Ford is already moving up and it's trading at the top side of this range here, what I'm expecting is a breakout to the top side on Ford. We're looking for a break over 21. All right, and this kind of looks like a bull flag pattern here in itself, right? The most recent run, then you've got a little bit of the pullback there, right? So this would be your bull flag, and that's shaping up just underneath a pretty major point of resistance, being $21. If I flip this to the 5-minute time frame, I mean, you can probably see that a little more clearly. Resistance, 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 right? So very easy analysis here, just looking for the break of 21. From this $21 price point, I would expect to see some resistance formed or occur around 21.5. Ford has tried to break $21 previously, and it did so successfully. Actually closed outside of 21, right? Big day right here, a lot of volume, but then came right back down and came all the way down to test 19 before testing 21 again. So this is kind of a major point here. If we can get up and over $21, I think we most definitely will test 21.5 at least, and then that'll be the true test to see, do we put in a new high, or does it stop there, and do we get a fake out and rejection on the way back down? So just keep that in mind. I'm thinking that this time, if we break 21, it's likely that we do break through 21.5 and continue to go, but we'll have to see what happens. You know, there's always the chance that we do get that push to this level and then the rejection there. So just keep that in mind, that 21.5 is your first point of resistance. And then I would expect every dollar level to be a resistance after that. So 22 would be your next resistance point overhead. PFE, number 3 on the watch list for tomorrow. This one's actually trading near these highs at 61.71. So if I just back this up to the weekly chart time frame and change this to the max available, you can see that this is truly the all-time highs. All right, so we're going to go back into the daily chart time frame. This also looks kind of like a bull flag pattern here, right? Or a bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you want to call it. It is breaking the downward trend line. That's the most important thing. So who cares what the bottom trend line is? What is important here is that it is breaking this downward trend line with this candle right here and is putting in a higher high. PFE is probably going to be something that I may switch over to the side chart watch list depending on where it opens up at. But if this opens just under $60, all I'm looking for is a continuation run from the break of this downward trend line. So it'll be a long idea over 60 for PFE. Your resistance point is going to be up here near 61 or 61.5, near these all-time highs. All right, so PFE, long idea over 60, looking for the run to 61 or 61.5. The next one on the watch list will be Tesla. Okay, so this is an interesting one because from this chart that we're looking at right here, from a technical standpoint, I don't necessarily see anything here that looks high probability to me. You could argue that, yes, this is a break of the major downward trend line right here, right? You could argue that this is a bull flag. Yes, you could argue that the $100 or $1,100 hold number is just overhead. Yes, but the stock is pulling back at this point. Why this is included on my watch list is not for technical reasons. It's for fundamental reasons. So Tesla just had a news report come out that the Q4 deliveries beat expectations. And so when something like that happens, I halfway expect a gap up to occur. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Tesla gap up and over probably 1100. We'll have to kind of play this one by ear. So Tesla's on the watch list because I would definitely want to make sure that we're checking out the entire EV sector going into tomorrow. There's a few different ways that we can play this, right? So the first way being that if Tesla gaps up to 1100 or just below it, I'm looking to take it long over that price point. Or I'm looking to take it long over whatever the pre-market high is going to be. If it gaps up over that price point, I'm looking to take it long over this resistance back here near 1115 or 1120. All right, so there's a few different levels here to keep in mind, to keep in mind and to watch out for. The first one being that $1,100 whole number. The second one being the highs of around 1115 and then the true highs of 1120. So why even mention that lower level at 1115? Because this is the true resistance. You see there's 3 times where that level has been hit and then rejected. The only reason I included the higher level at 1120 was just because of this wick right here, which doesn't hold a lot of weight. Remember that when you're drawing support and resistance lines, the more times that a level has been hit, the stronger that level will be. So since the 1115 level has been hit 3 times, that's going to be an important one to keep an eye out for. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Tesla does in the morning. If it gaps up, it's definitely going to be on the watch list, and the entire EV sector could move in sympathy with Tesla as well. Since we're talking about the EV stocks, I just want to go ahead and mention NIO. So NIO had some news come out on it last week, which caused this big rally here, and then a little bit of a pullback the following day, right? That pullback is not surprising given the fact that NIO made almost a 19% move in one day. So a 19% move up, and then a pullback. Now we have resistance very clearly placed at $33, right? It hit 33 the following day. I'll move to the 5-minute time frame. So it hit 33 the following day, right here, twice, and then kind of rejected, moved sideways, and faded out towards the end of the day. I don't think that NIO is necessarily out of play because of this day right here. I mean, this is just saying that, hey, the stock made a big run up. It needs some time to cool off and base. This is something that's totally normal and could be expected to happen. The reason why I want to include NIO on the list is because it can be a sympathy with Tesla. So if Tesla gaps up, there's a chance that we see NIO gap up as well. And if NIO is trading just under that $33 level of resistance that we know of right here, then we can take this long over 33 for the run up to probably 34 or 35. 35 being the major point of resistance where that 50 EMA is located. I see some people asking which stocks have we reviewed already. If you're just joining into the stream late, you will be able to watch this stream in its entirety as soon as I finish the stream. You could just go back to my channel and hit playback and watch it from the beginning. The stocks that I've already reviewed are RBLX, Ford, ticker F, PFE, Tesla, and NIO. I've got one more for you all, and then we're going to talk about, and then I'll move into taking some charting requests. All right, SBUX. I've been watching this one for quite some time. It's doing a whole lot of nothing, really. Kind of trying to bounce off this 200 EMA, meeting resistance, bouncing off the 200 EMA, meeting resistance, bouncing off, meeting resistance. It's a lot of rinse and repeat and choppiness here. It's now back on my radar because this is a gap area. So much like RBLX validating the gap area as a support to the bottom side, SBUX is validating the gap area as a resistance to the top side. So your resistance is going to be placed at 117.5. and then the gap fill will be right at around 118.5. It's not a very significant gap, but it is a gap nonetheless. And this type of trade does present opportunity. So I probably will include SBUX on our side chart list as a long idea over 117.5, just looking for the continuation gap fill here of $1, right? And it's not a ton of profit margin, I know, but if you are that trader that kind of likes the cheaper contracts and likes those slower moving names, this is the stock for you. So SBUX gap area over 117.5 to fill $1 up. Cool. All right, RBLX, Ford, PFE, SBUX, Tesla, and NIO. All stocks that will be making my watch list going into tomorrow. I did review a lot of others. I just didn't see a ton of opportunity out there. I was looking at stocks like, kind of like the FANG stocks. Apple, very close to the all-time highs. Microsoft, pretty close to the all-time highs. Roku, we were looking at this one as a possible break of this range right here. All of those still have potential, but at the current moment they're going red. So I want all of these names to kind of reverse a little bit and push back up to that resistance point, and then maybe we can trade this later on in the week, be it Tuesday or Wednesday, if the overall market decides to cooperate and continue to push up as well. At this time, I want to take some charting requests, so type up in the chat anything that you would like me to review. I just ask that you try to include some analysis with your tickers that you're calling out, so that I can see where you're coming from and why you're mentioning that stock in the first place. All right, I see somebody mentioning Amazon. Yeah, so Amazon has been slightly disappointing as of lately. It hasn't been a whole lot. It hasn't done a whole lot of anything. I know that it broke. Let me back this up to the weekly. It broke this major range that it was trading in, and then fell back down into that range. So let me show you this with a few trend lines there. So this was the range from 2,900 up to 3,500 that we were looking for, or looking at as a potential breakover. And leading up to the earnings report here, we got that break, but it fell right back into that range, and then treated 3,500 as a resistance again, right? And then leading up to the next earnings report, we got the break of the range again, very close to the all-time highs, and then a rejection back down into this range. So Amazon, it's really off my radar until it gets back over 3,500. This is a really major resistance point on a large time frame, on the weekly time frame for this stock. You see all those gray shaded areas, that's all the times that this has hit that level as a resistance. So until it gets back over 3,500, I'm not really interested in putting Amazon on the watch list. On the daily chart time frame, if you want to take this a step further and just kind of break it down time frame by time frame, on the daily chart time frame, it had this chance here, this opportunity to reverse this most recent downtrend that it's been in, right? And it failed to do so. It did hold up support right there at the 200 EMA. That's going to be that blue line. It did hold up support there. It was kind of being compressed here between that 50 EMA and that 200 EMA on the daily chart time frame. It's like a battle, and the 200 EMA lost. And so Amazon fell through the 200 EMA and is now kind of downtrending with a lot of these FANG names. Most recently, I'm not saying that I'm bearish on Amazon. I'm just saying that at this moment, I don't see anything that has my interest here from a long standpoint. So patiently waiting for this to get up to and over 3,500, I think, will be key on Amazon, because that seems to be when it really gets the momentum. So I see a couple of you mentioning XPEV. Could this be a possible sympathy to Tesla as well? Yes, absolutely. So XPEV also in the EV industry and is a China name. So if we see Tesla gap up and we see a stock like NIO gap up, we could see something like XPEV gap up because NIO is also a China name as well, right? All of these stocks kind of move similarly. I don't see the point in trading all of them if they're all moving similarly. Just pick the one that you like the most. I'm including both Tesla and NIO on my watch list because I know that there are members in my Discord server who either cannot afford to trade Tesla contracts or just don't want to trade something that is considered to be pricey. So if we're getting that sympathy move on these cheaper names, something like NIO, that's a good choice in my opinion over XPEV. I think it's just a little more popular, and you kind of want to stick with where the volume is flowing. But yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah, XPEV could definitely be one of those names that move in sympathy with Tesla if we do see that gap up. And it's very simple. You would just be looking for the continuation trade from where it's currently trading at. So maybe a break of like $51 would work just fine. Or if it gaps up beyond that, whatever that pre-market high is, look for a break of that. Cool. I'm glad you brought that up. Oh yeah, three of you actually mentioned that. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Somebody said MRNA, possible reversal, and looking for a new recent high. Okay, so MRNA, this is kind of a tough one to analyze from a technical standpoint just because there are so many fundamental factors that are affecting the price of this stock right now. All of the FDA approvals for the booster shots really have a significant impact on how the stock moves. So it's tough to gauge where this can go from a technical standpoint because, you see these massive gap downs, then you see the massive gap ups, right? And then you see the full retracement back down. But we'll break it down from a technical standpoint regardless. It is definitely on a downtrend, on an overall downtrend at this point. So it's making these lower highs. It is trading below the 200 EMA. So just a quick reference, a stock trading over the 200 EMA on the daily chart time frame is considered to be in an uptrend, whereas a stock trading below that 200 EMA on the daily is considered to be in a downtrend. So it is currently downtrending. It is making lower highs, but it is trading near a somewhat significant point of support, being around $220, $230, this area right here. So it did stop making recent lows and has started to curl up and make recent highs. I don't disagree with what you're saying here. Hey, this could be a nice reversal point for MRNA. Yes, it could be. But what I'm worried about is the limited amount of profit margin here, because remember that we're analyzing this from a technical standpoint. That 200 EMA is a point of resistance. That is a dynamic level of resistance. So your profit margin from 260 up to 270, it is somewhat limited there. It is a $10 profit margin. It is over 2%, but you have to be concerned about that because you may not get in exactly at 260 and the stock may not run all the way up to 270. So just keep in mind that if you're trading MRNA for a reversal, that there is the possibility that it stops short of where you think it may go, and that your profit margin here could be limited. I would feel more comfortable on MRNA taking it long if there's some sort of reason to take it long, right? Maybe if there's like a positive news catalyst behind it, or if the stock gaps up, or if it's trading, even if it's trading near the $300 whole number. All of those things would be a reason for me to have interest in the name. But right now, I think the volume's kind of low here. It's just doing its thing near a support point. There are probably better stocks to trade rather than looking for a reversal on this one. BYND looking for a reversal over 74. That's what somebody said here. Crafted K9s mentioned that. Not sure where you got 74 from. I'm assuming off of this peak here. I don't think you need to wait that long. So much like our Ford stock, where it was range trading with support at 19 and resistance at 21, BYND is also doing the same. It is range trading with support around 62, 63, and recent resistance at 70. I don't necessarily disagree with you that BYND has the potential for a reversal, because it absolutely does. This is one of those stocks, one of those companies that gets partnerships with people all the time. It does seem like a company that's growing in popularity, but the stock price is coming down. And I feel like, all it takes is one positive news catalyst for BYND for it to really make a significant gap up and go. So there's a couple of different ways that you could trade this. If you're one of those people that likes buying off of the support point, the adage goes buy low, sell high. You could look at taking a position off of 62 or 62.5 with a stop just below that. That's going to be like a low risk play to the bottom side, because obviously if it makes a new low, you just get out of the position. Or you could wait for confirmation and wait for it to start putting in higher highs. I don't think you need to wait for a break of 74 or 75. A move over 70 might be enough for you to say, hey, this is low enough. It has based long enough here. It's no longer really truly making lower lows, and it is starting to make higher highs. That could be the start of this reversal. I want to go ahead and get in, right? So $70, I went ahead and set my alert right there. I think that that's a good one to keep an eye on for if and when it does break this range. All right, somebody said CMCSA, bearish below $50. Okay, great. Good. So we don't see this very often, at least not in these live streams, because I'm primarily a bullish bias trader, and I feel like a lot of people are also looking for breakout stocks as well. But this is a good one to analyze, because it is a name that is downtrending, and we can make a couple of good points off of this. So the stock is trading under the 200 EMA, right? That's the first thing that we're going to notice here. It's on the daily chart under the 200 EMA, downtrending, definitely downtrending. The second thing that I want to note is that the 50 EMA is now trading below that 200 EMA, right? So that's your extra confirmation that the stock is downtrending. Then we can draw a downward trend line across these peaks here and say, okay, well, now we have a downward trend line, definitely downtrending. We know that that 50 EMA is a dynamic level of resistance. We've rejected here, 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 and here. So sticking with the trend is a way that we can maximize our chances of being profitable on the trade. By day trading with the trend, with the overall direction on a larger time frame, such as the daily or weekly chart, you increase your chances of being profitable on the trade. So that being said, this particular person, who called this out? Jason. This particular person said that a break below $50 is something that I'm going to be bearish on. I'm looking to short it below 50. We know that $50 is a whole number, also acts as a natural point of support and resistance. If it rejects off the 50 EMA, which is what it looks like it's doing here, and continues to make a new low, I can look to short it and continue the trend to the bottom side. Yeah, I 100% agree with you here. So really great analysis. Thank you for bringing that one up. A break below $50 looks good for the continuation short. This is the same thing as if you were buying the dip on something that was breaking out, right? So in this area, it was the 50 EMA was treated as a support. So it pulled back to the 50, buy it, sell it at the new recent high, right? Pulled back to the 50, buy it, sell it at the new recent high. Same deal here, right? Hit the 50, short it, sell it at the recent low. Hit the 50, short it, sell it at the recent low. Hit the 50, short it, sell it at the recent low. So good analysis there, and thanks for bringing this one up. Uber, somebody mentioned Uber. Does it have a bull flag on the daily chart time frame? Yes, I would say that that's a bull flag. This is a double bottom pattern right here that turned into most recently a bull flag. It's reclaimed the 50 EMA, rejected at the 200 EMA, has pulled back to that 50 EMA, and where does it go from here? I would set alerts looking for recent highs to be put in, so maybe an alert over 43.5, just to kind of let you know that this is starting to move up. What I would really be interested in is setting an alert over 44.5, because if it gets over that 50, or if it gets over that 200 EMA, then we may have a larger trend change than something that's just minor over a few days. You know, something that could be really major over a few months. So set some alerts, maybe over 43.5, 44, 44.5, and just keep an eye on it. If it continues to pull back, there's no trade there, but if it does start to reverse and put in some higher highs, it could be something that catches more momentum like this and could continue up. Nabil has mentioned BABA. Let's see what they said here. So you said that there is some positive news on that. It bounced off of $110 twice, which is true. It did bounce off 110 twice. It looks like it's breaking a recent downtrend and could be continuing to the top side. So Alibaba bounced off 110 here, bounced off 110 there. Yes, you're correct. It is breaking the most recent downtrend. Yes, you're correct. I did not see what that positive news was, but I could tell you right now that just based on this volume, there probably was positive news there in the big green candle. So yeah, I mean, it's just like NEO, right? With BABA moving up and then pulling back, what did we see on NEO? The big move up and then the pullback, right? And what are we looking for on NEO? Just the continuation break over 33, which is the most recent resistance. We could apply that same knowledge. It's almost the same setup to Alibaba, just looking for a break of like 125 or so. So I would set alerts there at 125 and just hang on and wait. You know, wait for that to move up. Alibaba is one of those stocks that gaps up and down all the time, though. So if you're looking to maybe swing trade something like this, just be careful. Right? Make sure you're managing your risk properly. All right, somebody mentioned NVIDIA. Let's see what you said here. Broke out last week and is looking like it's retesting the breakout levels. That's tough to say. I think it gave us more of like a fake out breakout. I see what you're talking about here. So what they're saying is like, hey, we've got a downtrend here, double bottom off the 50. It broke out and now it's pulled back and is retesting. It's still below, at this point, it's still below that $300 whole number. And we now have resistance placed at 310, not once, but twice. So for NVIDIA, I probably wouldn't touch it. I would consider this more of like a chop area or a consolidation area. I probably wouldn't touch this until it gets over 310 or 311 here. And really confirms to me that it is moving back up to the top side. So set alerts at I'm setting alerts at 310 or 311, and gonna patiently wait on this to see what it does from there. Somebody mentioned Home Depot. Fly High said Home Depot over 420 on the daily, strong close last week. Yeah, I mean this is a beautiful example of a couple of things. Number one being the gap area validating as a point of support, right? So here's your gap area, validated perfectly as a point of support right there. Just, you know, it's a couple dollars off, but this is trading and things will be a couple of dollars off every now and then. So yes, beautiful retest of the gap area as support right here. Nice reversal off of that 50 EMA, also conveniently located in this area. And then the run back up towards these highs, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the all-time highs, right? Yes, it is. Okay, so 420.6. who really cares about that 0.60 cents? I mean, resistance is, let's just round it and say resistance is right at 420, and this is what you mentioned, Home Depot over 420 on the daily. Yeah, I agree 100%. So support now is going to be around 380, resistance at 420. Just wait on this to get near 420 and play it from there. What I would be careful of and cautious of, though, is that 420 is known to be a resistance point. We know that that's a resistance point. So since Home Depot has bounced off of 380 and started the run back to 420, we don't have any of this, right? We don't have any pullback. We don't have any consolidation. This is, I know we've got a couple of red candles sprinkled throughout there, but it's just one red candle and then it was bought back up. One red candle, bought back up. One red candle, bought back up. So there's not a long period of time where the stock consolidated and built a base for support. So if anything, I think that we might get a test of 420 and then maybe some consolidation. So just be mindful of that. We haven't had much consolidation here leading up to this point, unless you consider all of this consolidation there. Extension, right? That feels like something like overextended to me. If I were looking at this chart and I was trying to day trade it, I wouldn't be buying if the stock made this kind of move. But if it made this type of move, I would be buying the dip. You know what I mean? Because I would say, oh yeah, that's a bull flag right there, right? It's holding a level of support. I feel comfortable buying into this weakness here. I don't feel comfortable buying into this because it would feel like I'm chasing. All right. Somebody asked about mRNA. Yeah, we did talk about mRNA already. So if you're just tuning into the stream, keep in mind that all of this is recorded and it's available for you to review as soon as I end the stream. So you can watch it, you can play it back all the way from the beginning and even fast forward and skip through some parts to get to the stock that you want to see. But I have already talked about mRNA, and then the stocks that are making my watch list tomorrow will be RBLX, Ford, PFE, SBUX, Tesla, and NEO. Let's review Twitter. Somebody mentioned possible reversal. It looks like it's reached a bottom and is range trading on the daily. I don't see anything here that's saying that this is going to reverse. It's just like BYND. I don't see anything here saying that that's going to be reversing. Just like PayPal, I don't see anything there that's saying that this is going to reverse either. Are these great price points or cheap price points to be buying these stocks at? Maybe so, because they do feel like they're a little oversold here on the daily chart time frame, right? If you look at the RSI, I mean, it was most recently oversold, and then the stock has stopped kind of making recent lows and is consolidating. But from a confirmation standpoint, there's nothing here saying that this is reversing. Not until we get those higher highs put in. So for Twitter, I would have alerts set at maybe $45 and then another one here at $48, and wait for the stock to get over those price points and start putting in those higher highs to confirm the move for you. Also keep an eye on volume as well. All right, somebody mentioned Disney, double bottom on the daily, retesting the neckline. Could it be a trend reversal? Yes. Yeah, so here we go. This is something that does have confirmation for us, right? We have the RSI recently oversold. The stock moved up. We had the double bottom put in. I know it's not perfect, but this is also great to learn too. Patterns are subjective, so they don't have to be perfect, right? You're not always going to get that double bottom testing the same exact levels. Patterns can be formed sideways or diagonally. They don't have to be formed horizontally. Yes, this is a double bottom. This is the neckline that they're talking about right here at 154. So the stock broke the neckline here, pushed up and pulled back. So could this be a retest of the neckline? Yes, but could it also be a rejection at that 50 EMA? Yes. Remember, the stock is trading below the 200 EMA and below the 50, which means it's on a downtrend. This could just be a relief rally from the oversold area to test that 50 EMA and reject back down. So what I would do is wait for it to break over that 50 EMA to confirm the move back up, and then you're going to have resistance. Your major point of resistance overhead is going to be at 164 because of this gap area right here. All right, so keep that in mind. Alerts set at 157, 158. You said 157? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're on the same page here. Great. Good. I like that you're waiting for confirmation on this. All right, somebody mentioned PayPal, saying that it looks good over 195 or 200. Yeah, it does. You're right. I would probably say at this point that 195 is not relevant. The safer entry is just to wait for it to get over 200. So I do have my alerts set at 200 as well. And you know, we're just going to let this do its thing, consolidate down here at the bottom. If and when it breaks 200, we might have a reversal move back up to the top side. All right, we're going to do two more here. Somebody said, SPY looked weak in the close. Will Tesla help it go up? So futures look good so far, but the NASDAQ is red. That's a real possibility. Yes, that is a real possibility that Tesla helps this move up. I think that we also have to consider, you know, what the overall market's going to do as far as Qs go. And the next one that somebody was mentioning was Apple, right? So they said that Apple has a bull flag on the daily. Yes, it does. I see what you're talking about here, but this could also be a double top as well, where you have the run up, the neckline, the push up to retest those same highs, and then potentially the move back down. Apple is one of those names that really follows what the overall market is doing. So if you look at the correlation between SPY, you have the run up here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 days of kind of pulling back. Look at Apple. The run up here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 days of pulling back. So it's going to really kind of depend on the market. Do we get a green day in the market? Do we get a red day in the market? I think that will determine, does Apple break out or not. My best opinion on Apple is to just wait for the break of 182. Wait for it to put in new highs. That's when we will likely see this volume come in and have the most opportunity. Cool. All right, so quick review. RBLX, Ford, PFE, StarBucks, Tesla, NIO, all making my watch list for tomorrow. If you missed any part of this stream, it is live, will be available to you for the next 24 hours. So you can go watch that at any point all the way from the beginning and skip through it if you don't need to watch certain parts. Thank you all for your time. Time to restart your trading journals and make 2022 a profitable trading year. Press that like button for me if I've helped you out in any way, shape, or form, or if you just enjoy watching these streams. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will see you all in chat tomorrow. We're trading live twice this week on Tuesday and Thursday in the Discord server, so be ready for that. Take care. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in chat.